Hello, my name is Nicole, and thank you so much for taking the time out to listen. Today, I titled this message, When They Think They Are Hurting You. When they think they are hurting you. And this particular message is about those who are passive aggressive. They will pretend on some days to be receptive of whatever you are saying and doing, whether you are trying to bring peace to a relationship or solve a matter or what have you. But then on other days, depending on whether or not they have forgiven and have forgotten, they may act aggressive. Okay. So they may appear like everything is okay, it's all right, all is well, but then turn right around and have a negative view. They may even pay you back for not tending to an issue, or they may perceive that you are up to something, or they don't like you for any number of reasons. This depends on the type of connection, relationship that you have with someone. This could happen at the workplace, at home, at the church, or somewhere else. But the point is that these people are pretending at times to be friends when really they still have a lot of issues, and so they come across as being a foe at times. Now this behavior can kind of confuse some folks because you don't know what day they are in a good mood. You don't know when you are okay and all right with them. They are hot and then they are cold. They will act as if you are just a very nice, sweet, kind person. They appreciate what you've done and then turn right around in the minute they hear something that you say or something that you do that rubs them the wrong way. Now, okay, I don't like this person. I've got to say something or do something to hurt them because he or she or they just really hurt me, or they come up with all sorts of excuses. Okay. But the reality is that someone has not forgotten. Someone is not forgiving, and someone is determined to pay someone back. Now, if you are one of those individuals who you like to just view people as people who are good, decent, nice, sweet, whatever, you are looking at all of the things that are positive, you will be deceived by someone who is a pretender, who is fake, who has a slick way about doing some things. And you may suspect that they're up to something, but because you choose to focus in on all things that are good and right about people, you get caught up in their web of deceit, their foolishness, their passive aggressive, their payback, their I'm not giving you any chance to do this or do that for me because I don't like this and I don't like that about you. And so they feel like hurting you in some way. I don't know why some individuals feel the need to do this sort of thing. But I do know that some have personality disorders because I've witnessed it and I've also been a victim of it. I know that some people do not forgive. They claim that they are forgiving individuals, but they're not. We do live on a planet where people are going to hold grudges, not just for days, but for weeks, for months, for years. And you know that they still have issue with you because when you do sit down and talk with them, they're going to start bringing up the past. The time when you said this and the time when you did that and how I felt and I can't stand you and what you did to me and all this other stuff. But a lot of times when people are holding grudges, they're only looking at themselves in the situation. They're not looking at, well, what might have caused something, or maybe my view of it is all wrong. For instance, I thought about when my grandmother passed away and everybody had something that was going on with them about her passing. And not everyone grieved in the same way, but there were those who assumed that everything was going to snap right back into place again. They assumed that everybody was going to be okay and all right, and it was going to be kumbaya all over again. But when you have time to sit back and think about some things, you realize that there are just people in this world that they don't care about you. They care about themselves and how they feel and what they want, and you better this and you better that. And they are not compassionate individuals. They are more concerned about getting their needs met, even if you are bleeding, even if you are hurting inside, even if you are going through a troubling situation, like in the case of my grandmother's passing. She was gone and we had to deal with that. There was a mourning time. For some people, they mourn for days. Other people mourn for weeks. Other people mourn for months, and other people are still mourning. And those selfish individuals who don't understand and don't want to understand, they will continue to go about doing what they're doing, saying what they're saying. And when some people have this unforgiving spirit about them, they're hostile, they have a passive aggressive tendency, the Lord speaks to us and tells us to distance ourselves. Because if I'm going through a healing process, I can't keep the alcoholics around me. If I'm going through a healing process, I can't keep those who have substance addictions around me, who have this way of coping with things by ingesting all sorts of harmful things that alter their minds. And then eventually they say the wrong thing or do the wrong thing because their nerves are bad or because they're upset about any number of things. You see, as we are going through a healing process, as much as people on the outside are looking in, want to say, well, that is this person to you, and that is not a good way to deal with it, and God has nothing to do with this, that, and the other. As much as those who are like this want to have that type of attitude, the truth of the matter is that God, if we're listening to him, he's going to free us. He's not going to put people, places, and things around us to stagnate our growth, to hinder us, to keep us from living our best lives now. Can I tell you, you can live your best life now without your relatives? Come on. Somebody in that message, you should just be free. You can live your best life now without grabbing everybody and telling them you need to come around me. You need to do this, that, and the other for me. Sometimes people are so obsessed with others, so worried about others, so concerned about others that they stagnate their spiritual walk with the one true God. God is standing there waving his hand and saying, I need for you to come walk with me. And you got some folks who are saying, I'm not walking with God. I'm more concerned about my mama, my daddy, my sister, my brother, my boss, and everyone else. I don't bring no spirituality this way. But how are you going to deal with the fake, the phony, the false fronts and other people when you don't even have a clue who those people are? But if you walk with the Lord, he'll show you. He'll show you where you're being delusional. He'll show you where you're being deceived. He will show you how you're deceiving other people, because some people, and I woke up thinking about this, some people, they're talking a lot about narcissists, right? But yet the Lord was telling me that some of them, they have been influenced by their narcissistic parents. They've been influenced by their narcissistic best friends, narcissistic spouses. So yes, they talk a lot, but they're talking about themselves. Jesus, they're talking about themselves. You see, there's the message that you give where you've done some research, you have experienced some things, and you are free out of some things, right? But then there are those who give venting messages where they are just venting about the fact that they have been victims. They are just venting about the fact that they can't seem to get ahead or get new connections or come up out of their binding situations. So they're really in some ways helping because they're exposing themselves. And we can hear the narcissism in some of these people's messages. We can see the psychopath talking about the psychopath. Come on. When you walk with the Lord, you can see that young person who thinks they know a lot because they read something or saw something, that no, you still got some work to do. I know you want to be believed. I know you want to be trusted. I know you want to gain a following. I know that you want to pay some bills, but your hurt is coming across your videos. Come on. Your sickness is showing up in the others that you so-called are counseling. You see, I hear this stuff that comes across some of these comments, or I should say read it, and then others offline, I hear their hurt and their pain. But the Lord is saying that you, first of all, you got to reach a place in this walk where you no longer deceive yourself, and you no longer are deceived by other individuals who are trying to put their pain, their issues, their passive aggressive stuff upon you. The Lord will show us this individual is still very sickly, and his sickness has nothing to do with yours. His issues are not yours that you need to work on. Okay. He's not looking for a counselor. He's not looking for a therapist. All he's looking for is somebody that's going to help pay the bills or help deal with the children or help deal with whatever his problems might be. Some of you all who are dating, you see that some people have very basic needs. And meanwhile, your needs, though, are much and you're expecting a lot. And that person who has very basic, very simple needs are not going to be able to meet all of what you are hoping, all of what you are wishing for. You see, we have these individuals that are like this. So you are expecting one thing and they're expecting something else, and you're wishing that he or she will change now that you've agreed to this or you've done this, that, or the other for them. And it's just not happening. So then you are at a crossroads. Should you marry? Should you commit or not? And if you have some issues, some doubts, some reservations about it, then you shouldn't. Instead, I'm spending some time with the Lord. I'm getting my house in order. I got some things that I need to accomplish. I'm getting my personal goal list together. I'm getting my future goals together. I cannot get involved with people who are going to give me subpar, right? Some of you all, your expectations are high. Some people have told you this sort of thing. And those who are deceivers, manipulators, they see that and they will use what they know about you to get what they want. Okay. Some of you all, you have seen this sort of thing play out in your own families. And now you're seeing it play out with your friends. You're seeing it play out when you're dating. You're seeing that you're attracting some of the same folks that you're trying to run away from. That's because there's still some residue with you. There's still some things that are bringing some people toward you that are narcissistic, that are psychopathic, that have a lot of stuff going on. Unless this is your calling, okay, where you are bringing some people up out of some things, you shouldn't be having that sort of group close to you. People like that, I teach, I preach to, I spend some time sharing some of my personal experiences, my testimony. But those people do not have a space in my life where they are close confidants. Okay. Doesn't matter their title. Doesn't matter how long I've known them. No matter what they've done for me and all of that. The point is that the Lord has shown me that everybody has a place in their life, in my life right now. Some are distant. Some used to be. Some are potentials. Some are people who I can work with. And then there are those who are confidants. Okay. So when God is showing us some things about people, we've got to heed the calling. We've got to know where they stand in our lives. We cannot be tempted by the enemy in the sense that we found ourselves falling into his trap. Because he is going to tempt you by being sweet, being kind, offering you gifts, telling you that you are the greatest and you are the most wonderful, looking for some information from you, looking to bring you down, looking for any number of things. So I thank you as always for taking time out of your busy schedule to listen. Please be advised that these messages are meant to educate. These messages are meant to inspire, to encourage, but these messages are not the only things that you need when you're walking this walk. You're going to need to be around the like-minded. For some of you all, you're going to need to seek professional counselors. Others, you are going to need to do some more reading and some more studying about your situation or others. And most of all, you need to draw nearer to the Lord. And if you haven't accepted Jesus as your personal Lord and Savior, please do. There are salvation prayers on the internet you can research. And just pray the kind of prayer that is going to draw you near to the one true God, not to men, not to women, but to the one true God. I believe in the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Okay, so this is who you're listening to. Okay, somebody who is a believer. So that is it. Please do check the description box for anything that might be of interest. You've been listening to YouTube NM Enterprise 7. Subscribe today. And also, if you haven't given, we do welcome donations. And thank you in advance. Blessings to you.